if you're new to like streaming software, the first few seconds are, you know, like in quantum space. You don't know if you're actually being streamed or not, but you know, let's take it from here. Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to a very special topic, which is a bit of an outlier because we've largely focused on engineering stuff for all of the different webinars in this series, but we're going to do one that's not quite, I guess, fully engineering this time, but it's a very crucial part of the security puzzle within your organizations. So we're going to talk about a lot of the challenges that come up between the time engineering teams say, hey, let's implement some kind of security and let's pick a tool for this, and the time the tool is actually put into production and there's go live and you're actually realizing a lot of the benefits of using the solution. And so in my worldview, all of that consists of like one big black box known as sales. And to somehow demystify that and take a peek inside this black box and to showcase what are the dynamics that play out between the time, like I said, engineering teams decide to implement something and the implementation is actually productionalized. We have with us today Raj. Welcome to the show, Raj.
Thank you, Ram. Thanks for having me here.
So Raj and I think first met at a very quiet KubeCon floor, and
That's
yeah,
right.
it was such a pleasure talking to you then. And after that 10 or 15 minute conversation, a lot of things just stayed in my mind, and I really wanted to do something around that. And I'm really glad that we have this platform, and you're here and you're able to share a lot of the insights. Before we begin, though, do you want to quickly introduce yourself and put yourself in the context of AccuKnox in terms of where you sit and what you do?
Absolutely. Thanks, Ram. And always a pleasure meeting you. And it's same as what we first time met. It's a great work with you and talk to you and talk to the audience here about what AccuKnox does and how we go about our go-to-market aspects. So my role is head of global partnerships and business development. In that role, every company has a different way of addressing the need for building a partner ecosystem, and that's what I call it. This it's an ecosystem of partnerships, especially for a company like AccuKnox. It is very important to build that ecosystem where multiple partners coexist and are commingle and are able to work together to take AccuKnox to the next level. So my role as head of partnerships is to work with the different teams, engage in marketing activities, and building the partner ecosystem, building different types of partnerships, and putting together a whole program that will align with our go-to-market strategy, and also work with product and give feedback to product and so on. So multiple ways, multiple hats at different times, wear multiple hats. So it's a great opportunity to build that ecosystem and take it to the partners and make them successful.
Yeah, I do realize that there's like a massive ripple effect when you create ecosystems of partners and things like that, and then they in turn take your solutions, and all of those conversations can multiplex very quickly. And it's sometimes when I do that kind of work, I wish I was an engineer just picking tasks from a backlog and just finishing them. That work feels a lot easier than managing the ecosystem. But thanks for putting all of that into perspective. Um, let
I mean,
Like,
the grass is greener on the other
yeah,
side, right? It's always, right?
it's always it's always
So, no, for us, it seems like the engineering tasks are the most difficult, and of
sure,
course it
for
is.
sure, for
And
sure.
for you, it probably feels like the sales and partnerships. So, but it's
Yeah.
all one family, and it all has to work together to make
Hmm.
it successful, right? So,
Why don't we get on with the presentation, Raj?
sure, go ahead. Yeah, please. Um, So I think the first thing that we want to kind of talk about is the selling challenges, and then how at AccuKnox we have built a partner program and a partner ecosystem
Hmm.
on the to take the partners to make the partners successful. Um, so I don't know if somebody's playing the slides.
Yep.
Who's okay? I'm unable to see that actually. Hold on a second. Okay, there you go. Um, the solution challenge, right? Maybe next slide. We can go to the next slide. Yeah. The, so the market is, the market is huge, as you know that this is an ocean, right? The CNAP market or the security market is an ocean, and there are many ways the companies are addressing that. There are many point-based solutions, and there are platforms, and there are other niche solutions that are available to address some of the needs of the customers. As Gartner's estimate, you can see there, that the current size, it's huge, and it's only growing. I mean, with the proliferation of data in the market, and with so many different forms of devices and data being ingested into the system, this the security aspect becomes very important, and there's only more and more reasons and chances for anybody to be able to proliferate or rather, make you vulnerable, right? So it's important. So as you can see that the market is growing, and this is the CNAP space, which AccuKnox specializes in, which is called the Cloud Native Application Protection Platform. Market is projected at 10.74 billion in 25, and compounded annually it grows to like expected to grow to 60 billion by 2034. So the market opportunity is huge, and obviously we as a small company, as a growing company, cannot tackle or reach to the total addressable market alone. And from the very beginning, our goal has been to build a partner ecosystem and go to the market as a partner for strategy. So that is what I want to talk about, and how this market opportunity, we want to share, and we want to work with partners to make it all successful, and why it is needed to be working with AccuKnox to make it successful is what we want to talk
So, in terms of just the perspective on security and things like that, how much of a company's security needs are met by a CNAP, like a platform such as this?
So if we go to the next slide, what I can talk about is like the partner selling landscape, right? Um, the security market is very
Sure.
crowded, as I just mentioned. There are more than 3,500 plus vendors competing for attention. Right? It's not a easy market to be in, and it is only always growing. It is not going to reduce in any way, and that is where we come into picture when we talk about platformization. So more than it's an overwhelming number when you talk about so many vendors and the decision makers, right? 68% of the decision makers in this kind of market, um, no, or like with 40% of the enterprises, they take like a long, taking 12 months to choose increasing risk exposure. So the sales cycles are huge, long, very long. And then the because the long sales cycles, it hurts the partners. And what um, we are trying to do is that with the help of our various various tools and other things that we have built, we are cutting down the prolonged timelines as much as possible. So the main thing that hurts partners is the sales cycle, and then the solutions, as some of the teams that see is good enough, but when it comes to technical complexity, many of the sales teams struggle to explain the technical complexity. So that's where we kind of are able to provide that differentiation, and are able to create a program which helps these barriers of entry for sales teams to reduce. And also, we help the decision makers to be able to make faster and the correct
Mm.
decisions. So that is where our platform helps the partners to go to market much
So
quickly.
when your partners take these solutions to the market, I imagine it can't be easy. There's so many bumps along the way. Irrespective of how many times we use the word seamless on our web copy, there's always some seams. What would, in your opinion, be some of the major challenges? Can you throw some light on that?
Yeah, I mean, if you go to the next slide, I can talk about that. Some of the, I mean, there are multiple slides on this. So, no, the basic, the challenge, like security solutions, mainly require uh, very specialized experience. So this is
Mm.
solution selling. This is not just going and selling a car or something like that. Even cars have become now more of a
Right.
software sales than a car sales, right? So, this is basically, we when we are going and selling in the market, where the security is a major factor for any company, the practitioners want somebody who can explain to them as to why our solution is important for their the well-being of the company. So that's so it needs a specialized expertise. Then training the sales teams is also a complex security on complex products like ours, or platforms like ours is very resource intensive. So many of the partners are kind of wary about that. And the pre-sales resources are limited and expensive, and then maintaining the knowledge across the evolving security landscape is challenging, and so on and so forth, right? So what we have done, as a AccuKnox solution, we have very great, wonderful, partner marketing and collaterals team that works relentlessly in providing, building sales materials and also training materials. And we have a training platform by which we enable the partners both on the sales side of things and the technical side of things, which helps the partners to cut their training times and cut their expenses in getting trained and things like that by almost 50 to 75% compared to some of the others out there, right? So the expertise gap, we try to close it as quickly as possible. And we also, not just like let the partners just get trained, but what we do is also shadow them in in initial calls and things like that, which is very important. You cannot just let the partner go into the market on their own, and because they are the feet on the ground for us, and they represent us, and it is very important they represent us the right manner, and provide the right answers and provide the right solution to the customer's needs. It's not about what we have to sell, it is what the customer wants, right? It is very important to understand that and then sell accordingly.
And,
So so we is the
sorry, I'll
yeah,
let you
go ahead, sorry.
finish.
Yeah, so we basically, enable the teams and training and things like that, and then because many of the partners lack the expertise, so it costs them a lot, and we try to reduce that. And then we also, provide pre-sales bottleneck, which is one of the critical aspects of any partnerships. We ease that by co-selling support, which helps in increasing the
Mm.
closing rates, right? And then basically all the cloud native deployment and other models that we have, that architecture, it reduces the implementation complexity, so it can be deployed in any kind of infrastructure. And so the partners are easily able to go and explain the importance of going with a solution which is a platform solution, which is not like just try to only for the cloud or only for
Got
on-prem
it.
or anything like that, but it can be deployed anywhere.
Now, I'm going to pick on one word that you mentioned, cost. Obviously, when an ISV or a reseller or whatever category you want to put these partners into, look at opportunities like this and try to make best of it. A lot of them don't enjoy it because of the one and done kind of sales cycle, because investments and what does partnering with AccuKnox provide them in terms of like revenue, upselling, etc.
Um, so we have a very, I would say, uh, very friendly and over-friendly partner program, whereby we provide them, huge incentives on for the reseller. As you can see in I don't know what the slides. Is somebody moving the slides? The next slide. Um, the the security complexity and technical expertise slides. So basically, the different aspects of the partner program is like, we have resellers, we have managed
Mm.
service providers, we have distributors and OEM and so on and so forth, right? So each one of those category provides different types of incentives. So it's important for the partners to understand their capabilities and their expertise, and pick the one which meets their requirements. And also for us to evaluate some of these partners based on their expertise. So we have some OEM partners, we have MSSP partners have who provide managed services to their customers, 24 by 7. And then there are other resellers who are basically have the relationships and other thing, and also have the trust built with some of the customers to go and resell or provide the uh, the right solutions to their customers, and they understand that, if anything comes from this reseller or this partner, it will be something valid. So those kind of partners is have a much higher percentage rate of incentives. So it's important to understand that, what is your capability and what is your expertise and what verticals you want to go after and so on. And then we provide the necessary training and all. So obviously some of these with the higher incentives requires more investment from the partner, but at the same time, you can even start off as a referral
Mm.
partner with basically no investment from your side. So there is multiple options available. There are some which require no investment, there are some which require higher investment, but obviously with a higher investment you get
Sure.
higher return, so on and so forth, right? So
And when a partner walks in and meets a potential customer, uh, I can't imagine that people are sitting there without any existing tools in their tool chain. They obviously have something going already, right? So what are those conversations like? Is there a lot of friction between the time somebody discovers AccuKnox to going and trying those, or is it that I mean I've seen demos of a few AccuKnox features in the past, and so it does work with a lot of tool chains already. So how does that placement look like, and what is that like?
yeah, so in this growing market, right? I mean, it's not about just creating like a one
Right.
time sale, right? And when any partner, obviously they are investing in us, we are investing in them, we are looking at them to have a continuous revenue stream and bringing in continuous revenue for us as well, right? So we have, as you can see here, some of the pain points that many partners face is that there are certain tools and other things. It's
Mm-hmm.
a one-time sale, but here with no predictable revenue stream and that kind of thing. But no, but it is very important to build this the consistent revenue forecast, right? I mean, it is good for the partner and good for us, because that's why we have a predictable model with a
Mm.
subscription based model. So obviously the whole world is moving towards SaaS, and so we have a SaaS based model which provides both predictability and reliability and validation for some of the customers, because they know that this company is the product, that the platform that they're providing is not just for this one time use, but it's going to be scalable as they grow, right? So that's and then the tiered service levels, right? There are multiple upsell
Mm-hmm.
opportunities because we have a platform. It's a platformization. That is the reason why we have platformization, where we have multiple modules within the platform. But it doesn't mean that you have
Sure.
to use all the modules at the same time, or so you can start off with a basic module, which is like basically you're trying to protect all your cloud assets and that kind of things, which is the CSPM part of it, right? And then as you grow, there are a lot of applications being used, and you want to have more into ASPM, but it all depends on the needs of the customer. So the partners have option to go and you know sell the module that the customer wants, but at the same time they are able to sell it as a platform and only kick off the module that is required for the customer, and so that their expenses, the costs of for the
Mm-hmm.
customer is lower as they begin with. And but they have that the platform, which as they grow they can expand within that platform, right? So they don't need to go and look for another solution. So we have a complete end-to-end solution, which for any software development lifecycle, for any company, and which from right, that's why our tagline, code to
Okay.
cognition, right? From coding when they starts to all the way to production and beyond, like basically. So that's why we talk about platformization is very important, since the companies, whether it's small, medium, or large size companies, don't need to go for point based solution, but buy this platform and then use as
Mm-hmm.
modules as you need use the modules as you need. So it provides also for the partners, various options for revenue growth and upsell opportunities, and also continuously delivers to the customer the satisfaction and the reliability factor, and also it provides them the option to keep continuing to grow their posture as they grow the company.
Nice. In terms of, I mean, non-marketing speak, so to say. Um, what is the spread
Mhm.
like in terms of um, your partners, and what is like the current footprint all of these people have, and what is it that you aim to achieve with this program?
Yeah. So before I go there, I also want to just talk about some of the other
Oh yeah,
aspects on
sure.
the technical aspects of our
Yeah.
platform, right? Basically, like it, the
Hmm.
API first model, right? For a cloud net with pre-built connectors, and it reduces the integration hurdles for many of the companies, so they can deploy across any environment, and the partners can basically showcase to the customers that they're much easier deployment models, and much less friction in deploying deploying our platform for in their existing tool chain with
Hmm.
their existing tool chain, right? So if you go to the next slide, basically, I think we can talk about that also very quickly. Please, next slide, please. Um, the customers, basically are not somebody who is very normally they have already an existing tool chain, or if they are completely new, then it's a much easier problem for partners to solve. But if they have some existing tools in their structure, then they don't want to completely replace something, right? So a lot of times that's a big problem. And then its integration complexity extends the sales life cycle. And if they already have, so what we have done is, like, we have
Hmm.
seamless integration, with many existing security tools and ecosystems, and as well as very easy and flexible model to add anything new also. So that is a critical factor, which because the partners, they can go and tell the customers, okay, you have certain tool, we can always come and work with that tool. It is not necessary for you to replace that. The second part is that we are a cloud native design. We have built ground up with a security aspect in the DNA, right? We are not somebody who has morphed from being an observability
Right.
company or something like that to a security firm, right? We are ground up built for security. So it's a cloud native design, plus it's something which has been built from ground up, which is so that it can be deployed anywhere, whether it's on prem or air gapped environments or so on and so forth. And obviously those are the places where the partners have a lot of big role to play, because in a if it's a air gapped environment, or is it a on prem environment, they have much more to add to as part of their services, right? So it's a win-win for them. Apart from that, we are available on all the
Okay.
major clouds. So when the partner goes and sells to any company, they can say, okay, do you want it on AWS, you want it in Azure, GCP, Oracle, Red Hat, basically,
Sure.
even Alibaba, right? So we are available on any and every platform, and deployable on any and every platform. We are also available on certain marketplaces. And you know so it's all very streamlined, easy, and cuts the sales cycle for the partners very notably. And now, if the integration complexity, a lot of times it extends the sales cycle from 6 to 12 months. But since we already have a lot of this integration pre-built out of the box, it is very easy for the partners go and sell to their customers.
Yeah, I think great engineering enables easier sales in a lot of ways, and um, coverage and all of these features and well thought out foundational aspects like integrating with existing tools, making sure that the tool works on all kinds of hyperscalers. I think all of those are very important check boxes along the way as you um, build a, a stellar product, in my opinion. But yeah, I think all of those things are very useful, and um, Yeah, I think back to that question we sort of skipped, um, about your current footprint of partners and what you aim to achieve with them.
So yeah, so we, like I said in the very beginning, we are partner first company. So current footprint of partners includes, ISVs, managed service providers, OEMs, and resellers, and so on. Any type of partner is welcome to join our ecosystem. We have a very good program, and like a lot of the companies want some data localization and so on. So we provide multi-tenancy support, isolates customer data securely, and then meeting strict compliance needs and so on. So the enterprise contracts are like,
Mhm.
growing globally, right? And it is important for us to provide that support to the partners. So any type of partner who is working with any company, where they are either reselling the products, either they are providing managed services, or they're just wanting to be a referral with us. We welcome all kinds of partners. So we have a very fantastic streamlined partner enablement program, and also many tools available for partners to go and be successful, and we will hold them along the way. It's a partnership, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, and we all work together to make
Mhm.
the partner successful. And it's a two-way street. We also have many incentive plans whereby they have deal registration for their particular part customer or something like that, so that we don't have multiple partners vying for the same deal. And apart from that, we also have some incentive programs like co-marketing, marketing development funds, and so on in our partner program. And also we provide a lot of, it's a fantastic deal, sorry, what do you call,
Mhm.
demand gen engine that we have, which provides a lot of leads and initial customer contacts and things like that, which we share with our customers. Not many companies do that, and it's not like we are looking only for the partners to bring in the customers, but we are also providing them leads for them to go after, so that so it's always a two-way street, and it's a win-win, wanting to make it a win-win for all, and for the customer, for the customer, partner, everybody. So welcome. Please go visit our AccuKnox.com webpage. We have a very good partner page and portal. You can look at the various options available, and then based on your needs and your requirements, and we can work out a complete package for you.
Sweet. For those who are watching, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. We'll get them answered and on screen. But very quickly, Raj, a lot of open source work happens at AccuKnox, and how has this facilitated sales for you folks, in terms of partner driven or direct or whatever? But
Yeah, I mean, so open source is in our DNA. The company was built started off with an open source project, called CubeArmor, right? And that we built to provide preemptive mitigation for any production environment. And it's one of a kind tool, and that is something which Cloud Native CNCF, Cloud Native Computing Foundation, came to us, and then we donated it to CNCF, and now it's a CNCF project. So, to answer your question quickly, basically, it's a tool which is available out there, and what we have done is use that tool, or like on top of it, we have built a complete enterprise version and a platform which can provide you not just the runtime protection, reliability, but a complete end-to-end solution, like from code all the way to your productions, right? So as you can see, in every module, we are first making sure that we validate with many of the open source tools available there in the market. And then, if there are custom tools that people use, then we can validate with that as well, right, as the need rises. But of course, the open source part of it is very important for the whole the
Hmm.
community and the ecosystem. And we continue to support that. We maintain KubeArmor, and we are one of the largest maintainers, and we support that. I mean, as far as sales goes, we don't look at open source as a medium for
Sure.
providing sales. It is more of something where we want to contribute to the community and provide some of the tools for people to build on it. And obviously, that really helps the partners also, right? Because many of the open source tools, if they go and deploy at a customer or something like that, there's a lot of handholding required and services on top of it required. And that is where we come into the picture, providing the enhanced version of the open source tool with the enterprise model and that kind of thing. So it all kind of comes together as a
Hmm.
one family tool operation, right? So it's that's why I call it an ecosystem. I never call it like a partners or something. It's an ecosystem where
Yeah,
everything comes
absolutely. It's
together.
very hard to find tools or tool chains that work in isolation. It just doesn't make any sense, to be honest. But um, yeah, I think
Exactly.
that's a lot of information. Thank you so much for taking the time to share everything with us and going over the partner program so patiently, and just giving us information about how much of a focus this is for AccuKnox as a company. For those watching, check it out at AccuKnox.com. There's partner-specific resources that will lead you. There's also a QR code somewhere here that you can scan and get to like a demo and things like that. There's also an email that you can potentially reach out to. But once again, thanks so much, Raj. It was a pleasure chatting with you as always, and I look forward.
Thanks, Ram, and yeah, thank you, and I
Pleasure.
really appreciate the time. And there is a lot more to cover and a lot more to talk about, but given the time, but please reach out to us, and we can always provide you a complete overview of
I'm
our
sure there
program.
is. This is probably just
Thank
the
you.
tip of the iceberg, or even less than that, to be honest. Uh, but yeah, we'll be back with a
Thanks.
new episode soon. Watch out for the AccuKnox socials for announcements about these. But thanks so much once again for joining us. Take care. Bye bye.